Here's me doing my bit, telling you about the best books that I've encountered during my student life. Also, substantial effort has gone into exploring other brilliant options that even I was unaware of during my med school. Also, we have kept in mind the changed medical curriculum while listing these books. So, don't worry, we have you all covered. Namaste everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about medical books. Okay, so there's this one issue that we all go through during med school, that is not knowing which books to refer. There were so many times during med school that I found a fabulous book just at the end of the year, like during my prelim exams. Also, there were so many other times when I would just end up buying certain books which everyone seemed to be reading and not ended up actually benefiting from those books. Also, that reminds me that medical books are generally very expensive, so it's a good idea to buy them second hand. There are various shops which sell them, like around Thane station there's this book depot, Jagdish book depot, that sells them. Also outside KM hospital you'll find several people selling them, so that's a good option. If you know any shops around your localities, you can just add them in the comments below. That would really be of great help to everyone who's viewing this video. Now let's jump right into it. So here we're going to discuss the recommendations for theory books for each subject and wherever possible each sub-subject. Also going to discuss the recommendations for practical books and other instruments or equipments that you might need. Okay, so before beginning, I would like to address a few things. There's a general conception that standard textbooks are too vast, the content is too heavy, you can't write answers from them, the language is too difficult, and that's why many people avoid reading them. However, the fact is, once you start reading these textbooks, you develop a genuine understanding about the subject matter, you build up your basics, and this stays with you for a lifetime. The second tip is always buy Balani Question Bank, which is an absolute essential for all years of medicine. The number 3 thing that you should remember is, before investing in any medical textbook, because it's really expensive, please go to the library and see the book and assess it for yourself. Look at the content, see the presentation, study one topic from that book and see if it suits your taste and your study methods. Alright, let's begin with first year. So, first year the first subject is anatomy, which is actually a little more difficult than the other 2 subjects because it's absolutely new and you have to start from zero. Many people find it very difficult, even I found it very difficult. Some things that you can do to overcome that is, first of all, start with general anatomy. Get used to all the general terms like supination, pronation, abduction, adduction, plexus, all of that, because they will end up coming up everywhere and that time you won't be clueless. The other thing is, please don't give up on it, okay? Keep practicing and you will eventually get there. Relax. Alright, the third thing which you can do is buy a notebook with blank pages. So you can use this notebook to practice all the diagrams for anatomy. You can also use this notebook to practice the biochemistry cycles and physiology flowcharts. We'll start with anatomy first. For anatomy, gross anatomy and general anatomy, the norm is we use BDC. There's this general anatomy handbook that you can use, and the other you have, basically during our times we used to have 3 volumes, but now they are separated neuroanat as a separate volume, so you have 4 volumes for BDC. It's a beautiful book, it's very comprehensive. The diagrams are also really nice, but the only problem is that you cannot draw or replicate these diagrams in the papers. So what you can use is, you can use BDC for theory, and there's another book called Vishram Singh. Now in Vishram Singh, the good thing about Vishram Singh is the diagrams are very easy to replicate. So what you can use is BDC for theory and Vishram Singh for the diagrams. Another option which not many people explore is Inderbir Singh's textbook of anatomy. Again, it has 3 volumes. Alright, the good thing about this book is it has a very modular presentation. So the text is readily divided into various smaller sections. You have tables, and the good thing is the diagrams are also very easy to replicate and you can easily draw them during exams. So along with one of the options above, that is BDC for theory along with Vishram Singh for diagrams, or you could use Inderbir Singh, I would highly recommend this one book which I wish I found during my undergraduate years, is this book known as Gray's Anatomy for Students. Now, Henry Gray was a British anatomist and surgeon who wrote this book called Gray's Anatomy, which and he's the most well known for this book. Right now he wrote that book in 1848. Currently we have the 42nd edition going on, and it still is a standard reference today. This is not the original Gray's, this is the student edition. Also, now you know where the title of the famous American medical drama Gray's Anatomy is inspired from. I haven't seen a single episode, and strangely enough my non-medical friends have mentioned it so many times. Should I watch it? Let me know in the comments below. Talking about this book, this is the students edition, this is the international edition. You also have a South Asian edition which is tailored to the Indian medical curriculum. This is a beautiful book, I highly recommend this. It has got like beautiful diagrams, it also has some real images. This book provides you a holistic approach towards anatomy. along with clinical correlation. So this is one book that I would highly recommend that all of you just go through once. Moving on to histology. So the histology journals, yes, those journals we got maximum read draws in. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to that. I think the anatomy histology journals that we get are more than enough for your curriculum, but just in case you want to refer for the diagrams, you could refer this book called Diffeor's Atlas of Histology. You can go to the library and just see this book. It has got beautiful diagrams and explanations. You don't necessarily need to buy this book. You can issue it from the library and use it. Then in case you are really keen on buying a book for histology, then there's this book by Yogesh Sontake, which is a beautiful book because it has short tables, concise tables and flow charts in question answer format. So this can be of really good use for you. Okay, moving on to embryology. So there are two books that you can use. One is Inderveer Singh of for human embryology. So basically you have to use this book only for the topics that are relevant to your medical curriculum. You don't have to read the entire book. And there's another book known as Keith Moore. You can also use that for human embryology for only the topics that are relevant to your curriculum. Let's come to anatomy practicals. For practicals, there is one book that I have always loved and I still do. I absolutely treasure my atlas that I have. This is one book that you should definitely invest in. Yes, it's expensive, so you can think of buying them second hand. So for the atlases of anatomy, they are absolutely spectacular if you see them. They have beautiful diagrams. There are two options that you have. One is the themes atlas that you can have, all right, and another equally good option is the Netter's Atlas of Human Anatomy, all right. So both of them are very good. So actually my friend had Netter's, so I bought themes, so we had kind of had the best of both worlds, but you can buy any one of them, and definitely I would recommend you to invest in a good atlas. It really helps you. I still have mine and I absolutely treasure it. All right, let's talk about the equipments that you will need. So first of all, you'll need a dissection box which has scalpel, tooth forceps, forceps, scissors, blunt scissors, sharp scissors. So you can buy a dissection box. The other thing that you will need is definitely an apron. My recommendation would be buy 2 aprons, one for the dissection hall so that you don't smell of formalin, and the other one for the other labs. The other things you will require is disposable gloves. You can buy a box of disposable gloves for dissection. Then masks. The other very important thing is these pencils known as HNE pencils, hematoxylin and eosine pencils. They're also known as Stedler pencils because that brand produces the best pencils. Also they are expensive, so you have to use them carefully. And the other thing is you need pencil colors so that you can draw anatomy diagrams, for example, red for arteries, blue for veins, yellow for nerves. Then definitely you will need a bone set. Generally the bone set you take from your seniors, and the cost will depend on whether they want to fund their pulse strip with that money or they don't want to. Definitely always prefer buying a original human bone set. Don't go for the ones which are made of plaster of Paris, okay? To the dissectors. So generally Cunningham dissector is generally the norm which they tell you to buy, but honestly speaking, I bought, it has 3 volumes. It is too vast to comprehend. I never really opened mine. So this is one book that you can use, Cunningham. But definitely a better option would be using your gross anatomy books like Inderveer Singh and BDC. They have surface anatomy and dissection steps, so you could use that. And also there's this beautiful book called Gray's Clinical Photographic Dissector of the Human Body. Now this is one book that I would absolutely recommend. It has beautiful real dissection images. It also has orientation before the dissection. Then you have terminologies, some terminologies, explanations, and all in all, this is a boon as a dissector. So definitely buy this book, and of course it has the dissection steps also mentioned. So this is one book that I would absolutely recommend that you go for, which is Gray's Clinical Photographic Dissector. A quick summary for the anatomy books. So for gross anatomy, you could go for BDC as a theory book along with Vishram Singh for diagrams, or you could go for Inderveer Singh 3 volumes. Along with the one of the options above, go for Gray's Anatomy for the students edition, one book that I highly recommend. Then for histology, your histology journals are enough. You don't need any other book, but in case you want another book, then you can go for Yogesh Sontake. For embryology, only for the topics relevant to you, refer to either Inderveer Singh or Keith Moore. For atlases, either go for Netter's Atlas or go for Themes Atlas. Both are good. Then for dissectors, you can use your theory BDC or Inderveer Singh as dissectors, or please buy Gray's Clinical Photographic Dissector. That's a really good dissector. Alright, for physiology, that one book that you should absolutely read is Guyton. Alright, there are going to be many people telling you that not to read Guyton, it's too vast, you can't retain stuff from it, you can't write answers from it, but don't listen to them. Alright, buy this book and start reading. I assure you, this is a wonderful book and you're going to keep coming back to this book throughout medicine and also beyond medicine. There are a lot of notes which are circulating around colleges. Please don't use them. Please use Guyton. This is a very good book. Along with Guyton, you can supplement Guyton with this prep manual, V.D. Joshi. Now, of course, you'll have the latest edition right now. This is my edition. What you can do is read Guyton and then put your notes from Guyton into V.D. Joshi. Now, V.D. Joshi is a prep manual. It has everything in question answer format. So you can use this for your university exams. So read from Guyton, put your notes in V.D. Joshi, and use it for your exams. Now another book that you have is Genong's Review of Medical Physiology. It is not an absolute necessity. Use it as an additional resource only if you want to. It's not a textbook, let me tell you this, and all the concepts of physiology are concisely laid out here. Only use it as a reference book if you want to, otherwise there's no need for it. Physiology practicals, the journal is enough. Please preserve your physiology journals, do not throw them away, do not give them to your juniors. As soon as you start your clinics, you will be needing them, so please keep them safe. Another book for practicals that you can use is VD Joshi again for the practicals. The content is clearly presented, you have a lot of question answers, so the information is to the point, so this can really help you with your practical exams. So this is one book that you can use for your practicals. What are the other things that you require? You will require a stethoscope during your practicals, measuring tape to measure the abdominal girth and stuff. Then you will require a percussion hammer to do the knee jerks and stuff like that. Then what else? Then you will require lancets where you will prick yourself. The movement has to be at the wrist joint, and then you will examine slides which are made out of your own blood. Alright, for biochemistry, during our times we use this book called Satyanarayan. It is a good book. It has the concepts are given concisely. There's not too much elaboration given, and it is not that well illustrated, but you can use it if you want. But certainly there are better options that you have right now. Lippincott Illustrated Review of Biochemistry is a really good book. Please refer this book once. You know, it has a lot of schematic diagrams. Then you have a lot of flow charts. You have concept maps which are really, really nice at the end of the chapters. Then you also have clinical correlations. So this is a really good book that you can use. The other book that is also equally good is Vasudevan. This is the newer post edition, the 10th edition. Now this book it's adequately illustrated. It has question banks and clinical cases. One thing that I love about this book is how they have consistently given pictures of the scientists who have contributed to medical science and giving them their respect and due, which generally most books don't. So this is one book that I definitely would suggest that you use at your UG level, and it has been catered to the changed medical curriculum. So this is one book that you should definitely read. The other book that if none of these books are suiting to your taste, then you can use this book by Pankaja Nayak. Now this book, all the information is given, it is well presented, and the language is also easy. So if none of the books above suits your taste, you can use Pankaja Nayak too. Okay, there's another book for biochemistry that is known as Mark's Biochemistry. Now this is not a textbook. Some of the information may be excluded also. This book is especially if you want to develop your interest in biochemistry. Okay, you cannot hop, skip and jump and do any topic from this book. You have to go from start to end. It's like a story book with problem solving. So there's a case which you have to decode, and if you go through it, it's a really nice book to develop your interest in biochemistry. So you can check it out if you want. For the practicals, I think your biochemistry journals are more than enough to suffice, and you can easily do your practicals with the biochemistry journals. If you want something else, there's this Manual of Practical Biochemistry by S.K. Gupta. This is something which you can use only if you want. Otherwise, the practical books are absolutely enough. For biochemistry practical, you need one instrument that also may be present in your labs, but sometimes they tell you to buy one, so that's a test tube holder. That's the only thing that you require. Coming back to the summaries for physiology books, please read Guyton again. Supplement it with VD Joshi for your exam, MHS exams. For the practicals, you could use the journal and along with VD Joshi practical book. For biochemistry, please read Lippincott and Vasudevan. These are the books that you should definitely read. I shall add all the links that I can find to the books and instruments in the description below. That's all for today's video. We're going to continue with the second year books in the next video. I hope you gained some understanding about the books from this video. It's a humble request to share this video with everyone so that it reaches people who might really need this. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and tap the bell icon. It's absolutely free and it really helps us stay motivated. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. The handle is right here. And yes, that's all for today. Stay tuned for more such content. Love and peace.
Priyanka, Rana, first year books, C3, take 5.
I think this, you can tell you, but action to bullet, action. This is Dr. Priyanka, Rana. I got the yes, that was case of it. This was 42. You have needed all shots. You have to go down to cells for the next
Mother of dragons. Sentence.
Also kept in mind that so that if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button and also hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time you upload new recommendations for practical books as well as e-subset. Physiology is something which I studied before because actually a difficult subject compared to anatomy. Considered with by everyone is sound on action. Alright, let's start with anatomy.
Amen.
Daenerys Targaryen.
Okay, I should add the links of.
Cut.
Yeah.
पुढे उठा भाई Subscribe नहीं किया
No.
दिखा
Camera इधर तो रे